Ryan was only a poor human mechanic. He fixed broken engines in the lowest level of the Imperial space station. His hands were always dirty, his clothes always old, and his stomach always empty, after a long day of hard work. He just wanted a place to sit, a place to rest, a place to breathe for 1 minute before he crashed on his bed again. He walked through the station halls slowly, looking for the workers' dining room. But today the doors were blocked by repair drones. So he followed a different hallway, one he had never seen before. It glowed with blue light and soft golden lines. The air smelled clean and expensive. Not like metal and oil like the places he knew, Ryan sighed. Maybe there is a small table here too, he whispered to himself. I will sit for 1 minute and then leave. He entered a huge room. The ceiling was so high, he could not even see where it ended. Soft white lights floated like stars above him. Many round tables were arranged neatly, each one covered with silver cloth and shining plates. It looked like a place for rich people. Definitely not for someone like him, but the room was almost empty. A few people stood far away, all dressed in dark uniforms. They watched him, but didn't say a word. Ryan thought they didn't care. He saw an empty table near the center and walked to it. His legs were tired, his back hurt, and he felt too hungry to think. He pulled the chair and sat down, letting out a deep breath. The sound echoed in the silent room, and suddenly everything changed. All the guards around the room stiffened. Their eyes widened, the servants froze in place. Someone whispered. He sat there, at her table. Ryan blinked, confused. What? I'm just sitting. Why is everyone staring? No one answered. Instead, the temperature in the room seemed to drop. A soft mechanical hum came from the far end of the hall. The guards stepped aside, forming a path, their heads lowered, their bodies tense like wires ready to snap. And then Ryan saw her. A floating silver chair glided forward. Silent, cold, elegant, on it sat a young alien woman. She had long white hair that fell over her shoulders like snow. Her skin had a soft glow, and her violet eyes looked calm but deep with sadness. She did not move, not even a finger. Her hands rested on her lap, still and delicate. Ryan swallowed hard. Who is she? 2 servants whispered loudly enough for him to hear. The Emperor's daughter, the paralyzed princess. Ryan's heart stopped for a moment. He had heard rumors. A princess who could not walk or speak. A princess who stayed hidden for many years. A princess touched by something dangerous. And he, a poor mechanic, had just sat at her personal table. The one no one was allowed to touch. The princess's chair stopped in front of him. She stared at him with deep, unblinking eyes. She said nothing. She could not. Ryan panicked and tried to stand. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I will leave. I didn't mean anything wrong. But then, something unbelievable happened. Her finger, the only part of her body she could move, lifted slightly, just a tiny movement, but it made every guard freeze. It was a command. She was telling him to stay. Ryan sat again, slowly, confused, his heart shaking in his chest. The princess kept watching him. Her eyes didn't judge him. They didn't fear him. They simply looked. Curious, alive, almost relieved, as if she had been waiting for someone like him for a long time. A small device on her wrist blinked with faint blue light. The guards saw it, and their faces changed from fear to panic. One whispered, "No, not the signal." Another said she never used it before. Never in years. Ryan felt sweat on his neck. What signal? What is going on? No one answered. Not yet. The princess looked at him again, her eyes shining softly. A single tear gathered in the corner of her eye and fell onto her hand. Ryan felt something heavy in his chest. She wasn't scary. She was lonely, trapped, silent, afraid. He leaned forward carefully and whispered, Do you need help? Her wrist device blinked again. This time brighter. The entire hall shook for a second. Lights flickered. A deep alarm echoed through the huge room. The guard shouted. She activated the royal distress. She chose him. She chose the human. Ryan's eyes widened. Chose me for what? The doors burst open. More soldiers rushed inside, weapons glowing. Everyone looked at him as if he had become the most dangerous person in the palace. A senior guard pointed at him and shouted, "Human mechanic, stand up. The princess has selected you as her protector. Now the whole empire will come for you both." Ryan froze. The princess stared at him with trembling eyes. Her hand shook, begging silently, and in that moment Ryan understood. She didn't choose him by mistake. She needed him, only him, for something that could change the whole empire forever. Before he could speak, the lights shut down completely, and something massive moved in the darkness behind them. Darkness covered the great dining hall like a heavy blanket. The lights were dead, the air was still, and only the echo of alarms rang through the walls. Ryan could not see anything at first, just shapes moving in the shadows. Then a soft blue glow appeared. It came from the princess's wrist device. The tiny screen blinked like a heartbeat, pulsing faster and brighter. It lit her pale face and her unmoving hands. Ryan whispered nervously, "Princess, what did you do?" The guards shouted commands in the dark. "Secure the princess. Find the human. Don't let him escape." Ryan heard weapons charging somewhere close, red sparks floating like fireflies. Fear rose inside him. He was only a poor mechanic. He had never fought anyone, never held a weapon, never even shouted at someone in his life. Now soldiers were hunting him inside an imperial hall. The princess turned her eyes to him. The glow from her device reflected in them like stars. She blinked slowly, once, twice, as if trying to tell him something. Ryan whispered, "You want me to stay close, right?" She blinked once. A yes. Her hover chair moved slightly toward him, almost touching his knee. Then the emergency lights flicked back on, dim, red, and shaky. They revealed dozens of armored guards surrounding the hall. Weapons pointed toward Ryan and the princess, their faces full of fear and confusion. The senior guard shouted, "Don't move, human." You triggered her distress signal. Ryan raised his hands quickly. "I didn't do anything. She's the one. She chose you," the guard barked. "And we must stop you before the empire collapses." Ryan's mouth went dry. "Collapse? Because of me?" No one answered him. The princess lifted her finger again, just a tiny movement. The guards froze instantly. "She's giving another command." Someone whispered in panic, "What does she want now?" Her wrist device flashed a strong blue light into Ryan's face. A projection appeared, a small hologram only he could see. It showed a tunnel, a narrow metal corridor with blinking orange lights. A map of the lower station levels. Ryan gasped softly. "You want me to take you there?" Her eyelids dropped gently. A soft yes. "Why me?" he whispered. "Why not your own guards?" Her eyes filled with pain, a different kind of pain. Not physical, not from her paralyzed body, but something older, deeper, hidden for years. The guard stepped forward. "Move away from the princess. Don't touch her. Human, surrender now." Ryan looked at her. She looked at him. Her eyes begged silently. Not like a princess, not like a ruler, but like someone trapped in darkness for too long. Ryan made his choice. He grabbed the handle of her hover chair. "I'm getting you out," he whispered. The guard shouted, "Stop him." Ryan used all his strength and pushed the chair fast toward the back of the hall. He didn't know the palace. He didn't know the guards. But he trusted the hologram she showed him. Blaster shots hissed through the air. Slicing past him, one hit a pillar, exploding in a shower of sparks. Another struck the floor near his foot. Ryan ducked. pushing the princess's chair through a narrow side door just before a whole line of soldiers charged toward them. The hallway outside was small and dark. The floor vibrated under their feet. Alarms screaming all around the station. Ryan breathed hard. "I don't know where I'm going." "Show me again." The device on her wrist blinked. A second hologram appeared, a yellow arrow pointing down the hall. Okay, I can do that," Ryan whispered, dragging the chair as fast as he could. Behind them, the guards' heavy boots thundered closer. "Don't let them reach the service tunnels. Seal the doors." Ryan ran faster, turning corners, ducking under pipes, sliding past workers who stared with wide eyes. Sung shouted, "Is that the princess? Why is a mechanic pushing her? Are they running together?" The gossip would spread like fire, but Ryan had no time to worry. He reached a metal door with a small keypad. The hologram from the princess showed a code. Ryan typed it quickly. The lock clicked, the door opened. They slipped inside as the guards filled the hallway behind them. Inside was a long vertical shaft with a maintenance lift. Rusty, old, barely working, perfect for someone trying to escape unseen. Ryan pulled the lever, and the lift dropped downward. Creaking loudly, the guards slammed on the closed door above, shouting orders, but the princess and Ryan were gone, sinking deeper into the lower levels of the Imperial station. The red light from the emergency alarm flickered over the princess's face. She looked fragile, pale, and exhausted, but when she looked at Ryan, her eyes softened with trust. Ryan knelt in front of her chair, breathing heavily. "I don't understand why you chose me," he said softly. "I'm just a mechanic. I'm a nobody." Her eyes glimmered with something he couldn't name, not pity, not fear, but hope. For the first time in years, she had a protector, and it was a poor human who had simply sat in the wrong seat. The lift stopped, the doors opened to darkness. A cold wind blew across their faces. Ryan pushed the chair slowly into the shadows. "All right, princess," he whispered. "Tell me where to go next." Her wrist device glowed again, showing him the path forward and deep in the dark tunnels. Something else was waiting. Something ancient, something dangerous, something that only she and Ryan could face together. The tunnels beneath the Imperial station were cold and dark. The only light came from the princess's wrist device. Glowing soft blue, Ryan pushed her hover chair carefully, listening to every sound. Sometimes he heard metal creaks, sometimes dripping water, sometimes distant echoes of guards still searching above. Ryan wiped sweat from his forehead. "Princess, why are we here? Why this strange place?" The princess blinked twice, slowly. Then her wrist device projected another small hologram. This time it was not a map. It was a memory. A young girl, maybe 12 or 13. Running through a garden, she was laughing. Her hair glowing white in the sun, her legs moved freely, her arms swinging like any normal child. She looked full of life, full of joy, full of hope. Ryan stared at the hologram in shock. "That's you," he whispered. "You could walk. You were fine." The hologram changed suddenly. The image shook violently. A dark shadow fell over the girl. A creature like smoke and metal crawled onto her back. Its claws pierced her spine. She fell, screaming silently. Her body froze, her eyes wide with pain. The hologram ended. The princess sat before him, paralyzed just like in the memory. Ryan felt anger burst inside him. Who did that to you? What was that monster? She blinked slowly again. Her device projected a symbol, a black sun crossed by 3 lines. Ryan recognized it. Every worker knew it. Every soldier feared it. The mark of the void parasite, a creature that only attacked people with strong psychic abilities, and it never attached to humans. Only alien royals, only those with rare powers. Rian swallowed hard. You were attacked. Because of your abilities. The princess blinked once. Yes, and your own father. The Emperor didn't heal you, Ryan whispered, feeling his anger rise. Her eyes lowered, full of sadness. Her device showed another hologram, the Emperor signing papers, ordering guards to contain her. Not cure her. Ryan clenched his fists. He locked you away. To hide your power? A tear ran down the princess's cheek again. She blinked 3 times, slowly, a silent cry for help. Ryan knelt in front of her. Why did you choose me? I'm just a poor mechanic. I fix engines, not royal bodies. The princess lifted her finger with great effort. Her wrist device projected something new. An image of a metal core inside her hoverchair. A small component glowing bright red. A label beside it. Human Tech Neural Lock. Ryan blinked fast. This was built by humans. She blinked once. Yes, and only a human can remove the lock. He whispered. Only a human engineer. Only someone who understood old human tech. Someone. Like him, Ryan sat back in disbelief. You chose me. Because I'm the only one who can fix this. She blinked again. Her eyes shining with desperate hope. Her finger trembled as she tried to reach him. She couldn't. Her hand couldn't move, but her eyes said everything. Ryan grabbed the hoverchair's toolbox. All right, he whispered. I'll try. I won't leave you stuck in this chair. He opened a panel at the back. Sparks flew out. A burnt smell filled the tunnel. Wires twisted together like vines. Some glowing with dangerous heat. Ryan muttered. This is more complicated than any engine I've seen. The princess watched him closely. The blue hologram guided him, highlighting wires, warning him of dangerous circuits, showing him how the parasite's infection connected to the chair. Ryan worked slowly. His hands shook. One wrong wire could stop her heart, or release the parasite into her brain. Guards' voices echoed far behind them. They were getting closer. They were searching every tunnel. But Ryan kept working. He had no choice. The princess blinked fast, warning him. She projected another hologram. Soldiers entering the lower tunnels. Weapons glowing, a clock counting down. Ryan whispered nervously. They're coming for you. She blinked once softly. She wasn't scared. She trusted him completely. Ryan breathed deeply. Okay. One last wire. He pulled it gently. The chair shook. The princess gasped. A silent breath. Her fingers twitched. Her eyes widened. Ryan panicked. Princess! Are you okay? Her hand trembled. Then her wrist device flashed bright blue. A hologram appeared with one word. A word he had never seen from her before. Almost. Ryan stared at her, stunned. You can send words now. She blinked once. Yes. She projected another word. More. Then a warning appeared. The neural lock was only 30% removed. She still couldn't walk. Still couldn't speak. Still trapped halfway. Ryan closed the panel quickly. Then we need a safe place to finish the repair. Her wrist device projected a final image. A deep chamber beneath the tunnels. A room filled with old human machines. A hidden place only she knew, before Ryan could move. Footsteps thundered ahead. Voices shouted, They're here. Find the mechanic. Capture the princess. Ryan grabbed the chair handles. Hold on, princess. I won't let them take you. She blinked. Her eyes shining with trust and fear together. He pushed her into the darkness. Toward the hidden chamber. Toward the truth. Toward danger waiting in the deepest part of the station. Because someone else was already down there. Someone who knew she escaped. Someone who wanted her power for themselves. The tunnels grew colder. The deeper Ryan pushed the princess into the lower levels of the Empire station. The walls were covered in old metal plates, some broken, some shaking with every distant explosion. Red emergency lights flickered weakly, making everything look haunted. Ryan whispered, breathing fast, "Princess, this place feels abandoned. Why would the hidden chamber be here?" Her wrist device showed a new hologram, an old room lit with blue human technology. The image flickered as if the device itself was struggling. Ryan nodded. "All right. We'll find it." The ground rumbled softly. The echo of marching boots came from far behind. The guards were still searching, but something else moved ahead of them too. Something heavier, something colder, something wrong. When Ryan turned the corner, he froze. A creature made of black metal stood in the center of the tunnel. Its long arms touched the ground, its eyes glowing red. It looked like the same type of creature that attacked the princess years ago. Ryan stepped back in fear. "Another void parasite machine," he whispered. "What is it doing here?" The princess's eyes widened. Her wrist device blinked rapidly, showing a warning symbol. Ryan whispered, We can't fight that." But the creature didn't attack. Instead, it stepped aside slowly, revealing a tall figure behind it. A man dressed in golden armor, a long cape dragging behind him. His face sharp, proud, and cold as a blade. His crown glowing with soft white light. Ryan's heart dropped. He knew who it was instantly. The Emperor, the ruler of the Empire. The father of the princess. Ryan felt small, weak, and powerless as the Emperor approached. His voice echoed through the tunnel, calm but deadly. "So, you are the human my daughter has chosen." Ryan swallowed hard. "I didn't choose anything, sir. I'm only helping her because she needs help." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "My daughter does not need your help. She needs control." The princess blinked violently. Her wrist device projected a hologram of the Emperor standing over her younger self, ordering soldiers to keep her silent, to lock her to the chair, to hide her from everyone. Ryan clenched his fists. "You did this to her. You kept her trapped." The Emperor stepped closer. "Yes, because she is dangerous." "You have no idea what she truly is." The princess trembled. A tear rolled down her cheek as she blinked twice. A silent cry of pain, a silent plea to expose the truth. Ryan raised his voice. "She isn't dangerous. She's hurt. She wants freedom. She only wants to move, to speak, to live." The Emperor lifted his hand. Immediately the parasite machine behind him crawled forward, its claws clicking on the metal floor, its red eyes locked on Ryan. "You speak boldly for a poor mechanic," the Emperor said coldly. "But you forget something." He leaned closer. "She carries the power of the star mind. If she regains her movement, she can control fleets, weapons, even the minds of soldiers. She can destroy empires with a single thought." Ryan's heart shook. But he didn't step back. He didn't run. He looked at the princess. Her eyes filled with pain and truth. Ryan whispered, "She would never hurt anyone," the Emperor answered. "Power does not ask permission." He pointed at Ryan. "Give her to me. Mechanic, walk away. Forget her. Live your small human life." The princess blinked rapidly. Her wrist device flashed with desperate images. Her childhood. Her pain, her loneliness, her begging to be saved. Ryan felt something inside him break, something strong and angry. He stepped in front of her hover chair. "No," he said softly. "I won't give her to you." The Emperor frowned. His voice dropped into cold steel. "Then you will die protecting a girl who cannot even stand." He raised his hand. The parasite machine lunged forward with a deafening mechanical roar. Ryan grabbed the princess's chair and pushed it hard to the side. The creature smashed into the wall. Metal shards flying. The Emperor shouted, "Stop them." More parasite machines crawled out from the darkness behind him. Red eyes glowing, claws scraping the floor, Ryan ran, pushing the chair down the tunnel as fast as he could. Blaster shots hit the walls behind them. Metal cracked, Sparks exploded. The tunnel shook like it would collapse. The princess's wrist device glowed again, showing a new hologram, a large metal door hidden behind pipes. Ryan reached it, panting. The door required a human hand to open, a feature only she knew. Ryan pressed his hand on the scanner. The door slid open violently. He pushed her inside, then slammed it shut just as the parasite machines reached them, their claws scratching loudly on the other side. The metal door shook violently. Each strike from the parasite machines sent waves through the chamber walls. Sparks fell like rain. The Emperor's voice echoed outside, cold and full of command. Break the door, take the girl. Kill the human. Ryan's hands trembled as he worked behind the princess's hoverchair. Wires glowed with red heat, the neural lock humming dangerously. He whispered to himself, "Come on. Please work. Please, just work." The princess watched him silently, her eyes full of fear and trust. Her wrist device projected warnings, numbers dropping fast, neural lock, 30%, 45%, 62%. Outside, metal claws tore at the door. Red light spilled through tiny cracks. The parasite machines were seconds away from breaking in. Ryan kept working, sweat dripping down his neck. His fingers burned, sparks cutting his skin. But he did not stop. He could not stop, "Princess," he whispered. "You need to hold on." She blinked twice slowly. A calm yes, even while fear shined in her eyes. Suddenly, the whole chamber shook. A huge dent smashed into the door. The Emperor shouted, "Open it." "She will destroy us if she regains her power," Rayan shouted back without thinking. "She doesn't want to destroy anyone." Another strike. The metal bent inward. Sharp red light sliced through the gap. Machines screeched. Ryan pulled the final cable. The whole chair sparked with blue lightning. The hologram flashed, neural lock, 98%, 99%. Then everything went silent for one long, terrifying moment. The chamber lights dimmed. The machines around them hummed deeply. A soft glow wrapped around the princess. Her fingers twitched. Her eyes widened with pain and hope. Her lips moved slightly. The first movement in years. Ryan knelt in front of her. "Princess? Can you hear me?" She blinked fast. Tears formed in her eyes. She tried to lift her hand. It rose only a few inches, trembling like a fragile leaf. That small movement was enough to make Ryan smile. "You're coming back," he whispered. "You're really coming back." But the moment shattered when the chamber door exploded inward. Metal flew across the floor. Parasite machines crawled in, their red eyes glowing like burning coal. The Emperor stepped forward, cape blowing behind him. His voice sharp as ice. "Move away from her." Human, Ryan stood in front of the princess, his arms out, shaking but strong. "No," he said softly. "I won't let you hurt her again." The Emperor raised his hand. The machines lunged toward Ryan, claws ready to tear him apart. Before they could reach him, a bright blue blast shook the entire chamber. The parasite machines froze midair, their bodies locked in place by an invisible force. The Emperor stumbled back. What is happening?" Ryan turned around and saw the princess. She was trying to stand, her legs shaking, her arms trembling, but she was moving. Her body glowed with blue energy. Hair lifted slightly from her shoulders, her eyes shining like twin stars. She took one slow step, then another. Her hoverchair hissed behind her. "Empty for the first time in years," Ryan whispered. "You're walking." She blinked once, a single tear falling down her cheek. She lifted her hand. Energy rippled from her fingers. The parasite machines shattered like glass, pieces falling all around them. The Emperor roared, "Stop! You don't understand your power." The princess raised her hand again. The Emperor froze in place, his boots locked to the floor by invisible force. His cape whipping in the energy wind, her wrist device projected a final hologram, a simple word floating in blue light. "Protect," Ryan stared at her. "You're protecting me?" She blinked once, a warm, gentle yes. The Emperor shouted, "You defy your empire for a human." The princess stepped closer, her voice cracked, broken, soft, but she spoke her first words in years. Not just a human, she whispered. Someone who saw me. Ryan felt his heart break and heal at the same time. The princess raised her hand again. The energy around her softened. The Emperor's body relaxed. He could move again, but he did not attack. He only watched her in shock. She stood tall, her white hair glowing like a comet, her violet eyes full of power and newfound freedom. She turned toward Ryan, her voice gentle but steady. "I choose him." The Emperor knelt slowly, his voice shaking. "Then the Empire kneels as well." He bowed his head to her. His soldiers followed. The entire corridor filled with kneeling armored figures. Ryan stood in silence, unable to believe anything he was seeing. The princess stepped closer to him, her hand shaking as she reached out. Ryan took her hand carefully, warm, alive, free. Her fingers wrapped around his tightly. For the first time in her life, she walked forward not as a prisoner, not as a secret, not as a silent child, but as the rightful heir, with a human mechanic by her side. And the whole empire watched, silent, humble, and loyal. As the princess whispered to Ryan, "Thank you for giving me back my life."